Just to have a quick look over at the calendar, we had some numbers out of France, Germany and then the European PMIs this morning, which really set the tone for where the markets are currently trending. So if we have a quick look at how that came out for France, all in contractionary phase, they're below 50. Germany wasn't so good. The services PMI, the only one that remained above. Actually, that was a beat of expectations, and then the European sort of matching that as well. The reaction that we saw into the euro, you can see, came down here. France, those numbers, poor at 8, and then 8.30, the German PMIs. The real reaction here. Since then, the European numbers sort of confirming the poor results, hence why we haven't really seen a follow through of that. If I was looking to get short, it'd either be from higher up or probably drawing a bit of a trend line on from that low and looking for a continuation from that point. But we've already had a significant move. We do have some data coming out later this afternoon out of the US. So I wouldn't be too aggressive right now, probably worth sort of holding off until those numbers do come out. But worth having this trend line on, those levels from previous days to have a look at. Should we get a retracement, you can see just how significant the support level has been from the 19th and the 20th low and then the 21st low as well, all in the futures around 114.25. So that sort of area potentially for a short should we retrace higher up. The pound this morning, after blipping lower, has just started to push above 132. It's a key significant trend line that I'll be eyeing up, along with some previous lows and highs around there. You can see we mark up on the futures just above where we're trading at 132. So significant trend line to be aware of there for the pound. Although with the amount of comments that have been coming out the last couple of weeks, probably best to ease into that market if looking for a trade. S&P, yesterday we touched that all-important level, the low from the global breakdown that we had on the 10th of October, so that low of the 8th, massively important. You can see the reaction is as good as you would want both today and yesterday. So as a sort of weekly close, can we get above that? Massively bullish, and then I think you get a quick move to the 2900, and you get all-time highs pretty quickly, I'd imagine. The zone to be aware of should we have a bearish day though, down like we said a few times, 28.24, really important. We've had a couple of goes at trying to break lower, rejected those both times. So from a sort of longer term, medium term perspective, this sort of little range, a break either way could really influence price going forward. For oil, trend channel to be aware of, just going back really the last sort of 10 days, you can see strong reaction every time we come down here. We're not far away from that happening now on the futures around 59.24 on that S1. Decent sort of first test, if you like, of that. And then to the upside, multiple tests as well in this market. Opportunity to get short should that break. However, I do feel we probably have a bit more in it. Where we're trading at the moment, worth having a look at this sort of point of interest, 59.57, previous low of the 20th, and we had a bit of a breakdown there as well earlier, so keeping an eye on that. Equities in the US, so with the S&P and the Dow and the Nasdaq following the DAX this morning, following those weaker PMIs. However, it'd be interesting to see how the Americans come into the market. For the Dow Jones, you can see a really strong respected trend line. If that was to break to the upside, that would almost be the sentiment changing, market participants not really caring about the impact of those PMIs, and I'd imagine we get a decent push higher. Profit target area to be aware of for the Dow Jones, you can see it was pretty much in a trend channel before breaking lower, so around there could be pretty important area to have a look at. Similar for the Nasdaq, just to wrap up, decent charting pattern you can see here, just getting squeezed, and we're looking like we want to break through. Strong area of resistance around 75.20 though. Hope you all have a great trading day and good weekend ahead of you.